Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking all about skirts and everything you need to know if you're short-waisted and what types of skirts are the best, things to look for, things to avoid. We're just throwing it all in this thing. So of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. This video is a result of so many requests, so if you have more, please leave them in the comments below and let's get started. So the first thing, this is one of those things that I really recommend with jeans, and I'm trying to see if I'm doing it right now. I'm kind of not. Kind of. But when it comes to short torsos, our world, there's not a whole lot of low-rise jeans, which apparently may be changing now that low-rise are coming more back in style. So one way that I've kind of scooted around that is I'm always pulling down whatever I'm wearing on the bottom. And skirts are so great for this because there's no crotch. So you can pull something down and nobody knows. There's no saggy crotch. It doesn't matter how much you pulled it down. It just looks like it's a little bit longer. And you already have long legs, so it works. Don't get the ones that are super tight. You know those pencil skirts where they just dig in right at your waist and you're like, ugh, and they really get you acquainted with all of your organs. Either size up or find ones that are a little bit looser, maybe a little stretchier, and just kind of shimmy them down a little bit. You know, you don't have to go way far. Kind of go to a comfortable place, maybe where a pair of mid-rise jeans would come. It's all completely up to you with what you're comfortable with, but don't be afraid to shimmy them down and choose skirts that you can shimmy down. The color that you pick will either make or break how proportional you could look. Of course, pick whatever color you want, whatever color you feel looks best on you. It's not always about looking proportionate, it's about feeling confident, and sometimes we feel more confident when we look more proportionate. So the nice thing about skirts is it's really easy to think about what color block your skirt is creating. So if your skirt is the same color or similar to, kind of in the same color family as your legs, it's going to blend into your legs and make your legs look longer. Especially if your skirt is kind of coming up onto your hips and you aren't necessarily showing your legs up to your hips, it's gonna make it look like your legs go up to your hips. And so that can create an actually lengthening effect to an area that's already long. So to differentiate the skirt part of your leg from the rest of your leg and the rest of your body, it's good to pick a contrasting color or just a different color. But also think about what's next to your skirt, which is your top, whatever you're wearing on top. If you match the skirt color to whatever you're wearing on top, again, similar colors work here too, but that can create a lengthening effect for your torso. So if your torso can look longer because your skirt is the same color, again, or similar color, it can make it look a little bit more dress-like, which could lengthen your torso that way. My next tip is to avoid waist belts and paper bag tops. When it comes to belts, if they're coming at your waist, your skirt is probably too high. But some skirts have a wide belt kind of built into the top. Oftentimes you see it kind of blending into the skirt. In my experience, those wide waist belts are often too wide for my short waist. So skinny or wide, I avoid them altogether. But the thing with paper bag waist is it's usually above the elastic, right? That paper bagness. Paper bag? Yeah, paper bag. That's like a topper to the skirt. So it's actually going to make your skirt come further up your waist, which there is no more real estate for if you're me. And you're sort of kind of left to kind of shimmy it down even a little bit further. So it can be done, but it might be paper bagging the widest part or more of your hips than necessarily your waist. Unless you want it to tickle your bra, which if you do, then that's totally fine. Now let's talk about length, because when I sat down to make this video, I thought, oh, let me go look up just like all the different kinds of skirts and I'll pick and choose which ones I think are best for short torsos. Well, there are so many different types of skirts, but there's so many variables that even just like saying an A-line skirt works for everyone. Like, yes, it can, but there's also some that won't. So we're not gonna really talk about types, but I do want to talk about length. Starting off first with short length or mini skirts. Now, this is a trend that's really coming back. If you saw my trends video from a couple weeks ago, having longer legs, you're going to be able to pull off the trend better because like you have long legs, skirts are going to already appear smaller on you or shorter on you. The problem with this is that the mini skirts you buy off the rack, they might actually end up being too mini on you because they were built for someone with maybe a little bit shorter legs. It honestly depends on your height with this one too to really know. Like if you're really petite, mini skirts can probably work for you than if you're really tall. But the good news is that you're gonna look trendier, at least for this year. The other thing I like about shorter skirts is it really doesn't weigh down your legs. It definitely shows them off like you have amazing legs. Like, flaunt them. Go show the world these really beautiful long legs you have. Some people show them off in the winter. Mine are still in hibernation. But the longer the skirt is, the heavier it's going to look on your body, especially maxi skirts. And maybe this is why I'm not really on board with maxi dresses this year. They can just look really, really heavy. Now, if you can get a little peep, get a little slit in there to sort of show off those legs, then it can start to lighten up the look just a little bit. But in general, I just find really long skirts to be one really long color block that's just really long, at least for our body type. So again, make sure you can pull those ones down so that you can have some torso in there to balance out that look. But if you really love long skirts, find ways that you can cut them up. Like I already mentioned, there's slits, but if you could find stripes or patches or some sort of thing that breaks up the eye along the way down, the less just one heavy color it's gonna look. So that'll be really important. But is there a perfect length? No. I prefer kind of knee length, just above the knee. I think that's the most flattering. I can still show off my calves, but that's just my personal preference. Now, what you wear as a top with your skirt is equally important to all the other elements of a skirt. It can either make a skirt or break a skirt. So I have a couple tips, but I'm not gonna dive too deep into that right now, just because there are so many elements I'd be pulling from other videos and other places that I've mentioned. I will have my short torso playlist in the description box below for you to check out after this video. I already mentioned choosing a top with the same or similar color as to your skirt, so it looks like you're lengthening your torso by kind of blending them together. Another good thing to consider, to tuck or not to tuck. I am a proponent of tucking. I think with skirts it kind of looks best. I always think things look best tucked, so I'm very biased. But what I like to do with tucking is to be able to pull it out and a little bit over the lip of the waist. That just adds that little bit extra to the bottom of your torso to just make it look a touch longer, and sometimes that's all it takes to just look a little bit more proportionate and feel a little bit more confident. But with that too, your legs are going to be balancing things out, so the length of your skirt is going to impact whether or not you should or shouldn't tuck. For example, if you're wearing a mini skirt, you can probably get away with a bodysuit or tucking the whole thing in because you've got long legs going down the bottom, but it's going to make your torso look longer and just all blended in, especially if they're similar colors. So we have your skirt, and we've already talked about what you put on top. We've talked about how your legs play into what kind of skirt you choose, and now we're going to talk about your shoes. I'm imagining I'm putting an image of shoes right here, but if I'm not, then this is really weird. If your shoes are either the same color or blend into your legs, or they come up to either the bottom of your skirt, whether that's knee-high boots or, if you're wearing a maxi dress and there's no leg showing, either way, your feet are going to look like your legs. They're gonna blend right in. Now that doesn't make it bad. I love nude shoes or clear shoes. I love shoes that sort of blend into my foot because I don't like drawing a lot of attention to my feet when I'm wearing heels or sandals or that kind of thing. But it is important to know when you're choosing the shoes to go with your skirt, what color you pick and how that impacts how long your legs look. There are some skirts when I prefer to have a straight line across my ankles, and sometimes I don't. For me, it all depends on the colors that I'm wearing, the types of color blocks that are happening. If you're wearing a skirt that has ruffles or maybe softer lines than just straight across lines, then you probably don't want a straight across line at your ankle. This is why I love boots. Strappy sandals can be great with this too because you can kind of go up your ankle a little bit in wrapping those. I also love heels with straps on the front. Those can either be really intricate or really simple, and it's just a nice way to kind of break up the look of your legs. I really hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see next, and I can't wait to see you there. Bye.